Shalom family, I am Vanessa and I'm a follower of YAHUAH and YAHUSHA. I want to say before the video starts, my English is not so good. It's not good at all, it's actually bad. I'm from Dominican Republic and I live in Germany. I used to live in the States when I was a child and that's where I got my English from, but that was only a short period of time. But I still have a little bit of English. Thanks YAHUAH, and he knows why. And this is the reason for me to share with you all the messages that YAHUAH give me. I'm going to share it with you. So I hope you have a little bit patience and you bear with me through this video so you can get the information that is been put in my heart from YAHUAH, and not only in this video but in the videos to come. Today I'm going to talk about the head covering. As you can see, I have no hair covering, and I'm going to explain why. There is a great deception, and it's very, very important that we, as women from Yasharal, know the truth and stay in the truth, and are not influenced by external beliefs and influences and religions, okay? So, let's start. There is one chapter where people get the belief that women have to cover their hair. And that chapter, we find it in 1 Corinthians 11. And this is a letter from Paul. Peter said that Paul is very often misunderstood and people take his scripture, twist it for their own destruction. And that is exactly what happened here with the head covering. We know that our instructions are in the Torah. That's the main, that's the origin of everything. And we always have to go back to the Torah to confirm a matter from the New Testament, okay? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 11, verse 5, and it reads, "But every woman that prayed or prophesied with her head uncovered dishonored her head, for that is even a one as if she were shaven." Okay, sorry for my reading, it's not perfect, but let's get this message across. Here say, if a woman prayed or prophesied with her head uncovered. Here, the covering is not for the hair, it's for the head. If you have your head uncovered, it is as if you are shaven. You have no hair, you are bald, because you have your head uncovered from hair. Your hair is your covering, and we're going to see it a little bit further in the chapter. On the verse 14 we read, "Do not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is her glory to her, for her hair is given to her as a covering." In verse 15 we read, "But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her. The woman's hair is her glory, for her hair is given to her as a covering." Our hair is the natural head covering that YAHUAH gave woman as her glory. We are not to cover our glory, we are to praise YAHUAH with our glory. And we're going to see that in a verse that I'm going to share in a minute. I advise you to read the full chapter alone. I'm not going to read it here, so it doesn't take much time. But I advise you to read the chapter completely, slowly, analyzing every single word. And you're going to see that a woman's covering is her hair. We are not to be shaven, to have like a shaved side or anything at all. We see many women running around or walking around with their hair very, very, very short to the scalp or even shaven. And that is the shame, because we are taking away the glory that YAHUAH gave us as a covering for our head. And we're going to see with the Torah and the prophets that we are not commanded to cover our hair at any point in scripture. This verse from Paul has been taken out of context, and the origin of it is Babylon. The Babylon religions are the ones where women cover their hairs as a sign of purity and holiness. And we do not have to show holiness with our outside, but with our inside. We are to dress modest. If you go to the chapter in scripture where it's talking about the virtuous woman, you're never going to find on that verse that women are commanded to cover their hair, because we're not. And I'm going to prove it to you with scripture. Go to the Torah and look for a verse where women are commanded to cover their hair. You're not going to find it. I looked for it because I myself was deceived as well. I spent months using head covering for the assembly, thinking that Paul was saying that we have to cover our hair. So I did that. I remember when I started doing it on my home by myself. The first day I did it, I was Yahuwah, I want to do what's right. I'm gonna cover my hair to honor you. And I did that. And the first 3 times I did it, I became such a migraine. I never get a headache. But those times I did it, it was so bad. I understood I'm not to do this. I'm not gonna do this. This is a sign that I don't have to cover my hair. And you're gonna see in a minute why this is such a bad thing to do if you do it as a religious practice. I stopped doing that. I stopped covering my hair alone for praying, and I only did it in the assembly. I don't know why I stuck to it. I just understood that that was the right thing to do, and because everybody else is doing it, then I have to do it too. Like, that's a sign that that is the correct thing to do. But Yahuwah proved me otherwise. I kept doing it in the assembly until Yahuwah showed me the truth behind it, and I'm going to show it to you. It's very important that we understand nobody can override the Torah. The Torah is the ultimate law. And anything that anybody else says has to be connected with the Torah, have to be proven by the Torah, have to be found in the Torah. And we do not find anywhere that women have to cover their hair. Also, when Yahuwah made Adam and Eve, he did not make a covering for Eva in the garden, okay? And after they sinned and he threw Adam and Eve outside of the garden, he did not make a covering for her hair. He just made a covering for their bodies, but not for her hair. I'm going to show you now where the head covering practice actually comes from.
Head covering comes actually from Babylon, not from the Torah. And as we can see in these pictures, the Babylonian allegedly goddesses like Semiramis, Astarte, and other ones were depicted veiled because the veil symbolized mystery religions. Also in Babylon, witches use head coverings. Prostitutes also use head coverings. So basically, veiling is a Babylonian religious practice later adopted by Judaism, not a command of Yahuwah, and never taught by YAHUSHA. And everything what is happening today is prophesied in Scripture, even this. Let's go to Ezekiel 13, 17 to 18. And you, son of man, set your face against the daughters of your people, who prophesied out of their own minds and hearts. Prophesy against them, and say, Thus says Yahuwah, Woe to the woman who sew pillows to all armholes and fasten magics, protective charms to all wrists, and deceptive veils upon the heads of those of every stature, to hunt and capture human life. Will you snare the life of my people to keep your own selves alive? Many women today teach that a physical veil is required for holiness, but this is the same deception Yahuwah condemned in Ezekiel 13 that we just read. When a woman teaches that a head covering is required for holiness, salvation, or spiritual acceptance, she becomes the mother version of this verse. She puts a veil of false holiness on others and spiritually captures their souls with fear and false duty, which we are not called to do. And then Yahuwah's question applies directly. Do you think that while you trap my people with lies, you yourself will be saved? So no, head covering is not required. And for those preaching that it is required, you cannot preach bondage and expect to be set free. In the next verse, on verse 19, you kill the souls that should not die, and you keep alive the souls that should not live. Meaning, you discourage the righteous and empower the deceived. You reverse Yahuwah's standards. Exactly what happened when people force women into mandatory veiling that is not in the Torah. It's not a sin to use a head wrap, or to use a veil, or to wrap your hair, or to cover your hair. It is a sin if you do it for spiritual purposes. But if you just want to walk around, you want to style yourself and use a head wrap or cover your hair, that is not a sin. That is fine. It is okay. It's just a sin when you use it for spiritual practices, because then you are mixing Babylonian wicked practices with the way of Yahuwah. So just to clarify, this is fine. This is not us. This is deception. And this is what Paul told us not to do. This is a shame to walk with your head uncovered without hair. This is what we are not to do.
If we go to Songs of Solomon 4:1, we read, "Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove eyes within thy veil." Many modern translations translate this word as veil. But if we go to the concordance, the original meaning of this word is not veil, but locks, hair, braids, like the hairstyles that we normally have. That is what Solomon was praising from women, because women hair are beautiful, and we are to honor Yahuwah with our hair. We are not to walk around with our hair looking like a mess, because our hair is our glory, and if we don't take care of it, it's like we are mistreating something very precious that Yahuwah gave us. I encourage you, everywhere that you read the scriptures and you see the word, a woman was using a veil, or she was covering her veil, or something like that, go to the Strongs, look for that word, and you often gonna see it meant her hair, but they translated it extra as veil to support this claim that women have to cover their hair with a veil. There's also, I forget what it is in scripture, where a woman that was claimed to be sinning, she was taken by the priest, and it says that her veil was taken off, like she was uncovered. And when I look that verse, I'm gonna leave it in the box description, that verse exactly that I'm talking about. But when I looked through that verse, it actually meant that her hair was tied, and the priest took off the tie and matted her hair, like uncover her, like put her in a shameful position, because we are not to be walking around with our hair not done. This is our honor, our glory. And he did that. He put her hair in a mess, and that was a way of putting her to shame. Not uncovering her hair, because uncovered hair is not a shame, it's a glory, but he messed it up, let's say.
In Luke 7:37 and 38 we read, "And behold, a woman in the city, which was a sinner, stood at his feet behind him weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with the ointment. And Mary took a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Yahusha, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the odor of the ointment."
Did you see how this woman used their hair to honor Yahusha? Like, our hair is our glory. It's something precious Yahuwah gave us to honor him. So Miriam took her hair and brought it to Yahusha's feet as in honoring him. I'm not saying Yahuwah is Yahusha or Yahusha is Yahuwah, and that's why they were worshiping him. They were not worshiping Yahusha. They were honoring him as a king. And they used their hair to do that. Like, I bring my glory, the best that I physically have, to your feet. Their hair was not covered. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to do that. And if their hair was covered and they took it off to do that, then they would be actually sinning, because they are to be with her hair covered. You see what I mean? So there are many cases in scriptures where if you look carefully, you're going to see that women did not have their hair covered. Even though that's what we see in every TV show or movie or series from the scriptures, we always see women are carrying a veil. That is a lie, okay? As we also know, it is a lie that they make them light-skinned, white. If it would have been a sin to be with her hair uncovered, Yahusha would have said, "Hey, woman, what are you doing? Cover your hair. Don't dare to do that in front of me." But he didn't. He accepted it because her glory was at his feet. And that is what we are to do with Yahuwah every single day. So I hope that with these verses that I just shared and the history behind it, you can be free from this lie that you have to be covered, bind, that you have to bind the glory Yahuwah gave you. And if you cover your hair as a religious practice, like to honor Yahuwah, like the Muslims do, like the fake Jews do, like the people in Santeria and witchcraft do, he says, don't do like the heathens, don't do like them, so depart yourself from them. Why would we take a heathen practice and bring it to Yahuwah just because we misunderstood one single chapter in scripture, when all the others are telling us that woman's hair are to be honored. Not honored, but woman's hair are to be presented to Yahuwah as worship. So don't fall for this lie. Pray about this if you're still like, I don't know, I don't want to do nothing against Yahuwah. I don't want to disappoint him and follow false teachings. I'm telling you, I'm also scared of failing Yahuwah, of doing something against his will. And he really worked with me with this topic. And I know this is the truth. And if you research scripture and study it and ask for the Ruach Kadash to lead you into all truth, you're going to see that this is actually indeed the truth. The truth will set you free. The truth will set your head free. And the truth will set your hair free. And you're going to be honoring Yahuwah with all the beauty he gave you. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you, Yahuwah. Thank you, Abba. You're the best. I love him so much. This walk is so beautiful, and I'm excited every single day. I see you on the next video because I'm going to be doing more, sharing some revelations and understandings that Yahuwah has gave me. We are in a very dangerous hour at this point in this world. We are in the last years of this age, and very, very, very many deceptions are coming. Not only this one, but many more. And we have to be led by the Ruach Kadash to stay in all truth. Please pray. Don't cease praying. Don't stop praying. Don't stop studying scripture. That is very important. Don't follow randomly people online. Don't feed yourself from videos online. Go directly to the Ruach. Go directly to Yahuwah and ask for Yahuwah's wisdom in the name of Yahusha, and he will give it to you. That is really my message to you. And shalom. Until next time.